Good morning. My name is John. I'm a master gardener with the Agricultural Extension Service, and I brought you out today to one of the farms that uses the black plastic covering so they don't have to weed. But I want to talk to you a little bit about several vegetables today. We're going to start off with tomatoes. You know, this is probably one of the biggest growers of everyone. Even people who don't garden have a tomato plant. There's three types over here. You have the cherry tomato, you have the little Roma tomato, and then you have the slicing tomato. See, there are determinate and indeterminate. The indeterminate will grow high with not much foliage, but all their tomatoes come off about the same time. Indeterminate gives you a longer picking. So if you're canning, I would get a couple of determinates and then get some indeterminates just for normal eating. Another important thing on tomatoes, you see these blossoms? That means they're getting ready to set a tomato. It's important that these tomatoes have calcium. Now there's two basic ways to get it. If you're an organic gardener, you can use chicken manure, but you need to make sure it is from hens. Rooster chickens do not produce calcium, and hens do. So you can use hen manure, or you can just go downtown and get you some calcium nitrate. You sprinkle it all the way around the bottom, and you shouldn't have any more problems. Potatoes. Probably one of my favorite things to grow in the garden. And there's several types you can get. There's reds, there's yellows, there's Yukon Golds. I just want to look at this plant here. You can see right here where it had flowered and it flowered off. This is a beautiful plant. Now you need to inspect all your plants on the underside of the leaves and the top side of the leaves during the growing season. Vegetables are like children. They need taken care of. They need fed regularly, water and food. Now let's see here. Let's pull this thing up out of here. Oh yeah. All right, and these are Yukon Golds. These are one of my favorite potatoes. And you gotta make sure that you keep digging around in there because you don't want to leave them. If you do, you'll see them next year. They'll be starting up. Let's see. On this one plant, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 potatoes off of one plant. Now, if you're not familiar with Yukon Gold, it has a completely different texture, but there's something about a Yukon Gold that I just love. Let me show you this. It's already got the butter in it. See how nice and yellow the inside is? If you haven't gotten these, you should grow some and try them. All right, let's talk about this corn a little bit. Pulled one of these ears off this corn. I wanted to show you. Every one of these hairs are connected to a kernel inside here. And if you ever get corn and it's got where some of the corn is missing, it's because this didn't get pollinated by this. Here's a good, so what happens, the wind shakes it and these things here just get pollinated with it. And each one of them has a hair connected to it. And that's what you got. Now this is, they planted 2 seeds per hole to make sure that there's no lapse in their corn. And if you, down here, some of these stalks are that big around. And that's just a good sturdy one. If you don't have it under plastic, you need to hill it a couple of times because you want that to have some more support. Because sometimes you get a bad wind, it'll blow your corn over, and if you can't stand it back up, you lose it.
Join us next week as we visit another Cumberland County Extension Master Gardener garden.